I've had plenty of questions about teleprompters, not a teleprompter, written paper, scrolls, like what do you use? I use both. I have teleprompters that I use, a little iPhone teleprompter that sits under the lens and scrolls by. If you're new to this, it can be weird. You're not sure where to look, you don't know what you're gonna say, you go off and you ramble and stuff like that. A teleprompter can help you with that. Yeah, I want to cover these aperture lights that I have that I just mounted. Oh yeah, and I put them on these brackets from there. And what was happening is when I got them, I unboxed them and I thought, well, crap, I need a cup of coffee. So I ended up getting in my car and I drove down to Starbucks and I got this cup of coffee and I decided to take the drive-through because I wanted to get back. And I noticed as I was driving through, I looked in the window and I was like, wow, you guys have really bright white lights in there. What do you use? She said, I don't know. The point being is, if you're learning to be in front of the camera, you can train yourself to be in front of the camera and be comfortable by using a teleprompter. Up till now, I haven't covered real teleprompters. They're cheap, they're plastic crap, they're really good and they're too expensive in the thousands of dollars. Glide Gear contacted me. I've been waiting for something like this with a reasonably priced teleprompter. It's made of metal, it's got the correct screen on it, it does what a pro teleprompter should do, which is let you look into the lens, see what you're gonna say, and not be looking all over the place. When you take something like a teleprompter, and why most people fail at it, is they don't put it directly below the lens. They put it up there, and so now I'm speaking up here, or they put it to the left, and the person's speaking that way, or they put it to the right, and the person's speaking that way like this. And what happens is the viewer can tell something's a bit off. This guy isn't looking at the lens, meaning this guy isn't talking to me, meaning why the hell should I watch a guy who doesn't want to talk to me? Get it? Now here's what you need. You're gonna need the Glide Gear teleprompter. This is a TMP100. You're gonna need a camera, a tripod to mount the camera and the teleprompter on, and obviously, you're gonna need an iPad or phone. First, let's take a look at what they shipped me. This is pretty cool. The thing I like about this is it's just one unit. I, being the prima donna guy, I'm going to mount my quick release plate onto this so I can pull this thing off and on. Oh, here's a tip. You know all these little screws and stuff for all your cameras and quick release plates? Carry a nickel around. It's pretty darn handy when you need to screw stuff in. That ain't going anywhere. Let's mount this on here. Boom. Lock it down. As you take this thing, it's not going to go anywhere. You pull out these little pins and this will lift up. And you turn it 45 degrees. And these little pin dudes will lock. And you screw them in. I want that. I don't want the little rests on something. I screw these in, that thing's not going to go anywhere. You take your camera, you mount it on the back of this plate somewhere. Done. Now you take this, and all you're trying to do is you're trying to put this out. This little thing here you probably can't see. And you just scope that around your lens a little bit just to keep some of the light out. And that's all you do. You may think it looks weird, but that's pretty much the way things look when you're using this. Let's turn this around. There's a glass. What happens is the camera shoots through the glass and stuff mounts on here. Now let's mount the iPad on here. That slides out. What I really like is I hate these things where I have to take my iPad and I have to take it out of the case and I have to unmount it, and it just kind of sucks. All right, so we just take this guy, we put it in here. There's a little, there's a nice little edge there. Just kind of put that in there and it actually clamps around the iPad right there. And I just yank it down. You can already see it's doing something. Now when you're using these apps, these teleprompter apps, just go ahead and let's go look at the Welcome to the Prompter Pro. Now, I'm using this to where I have it flipped. So the screen is flipped, but what it's doing is it's showing me what's going on here. The teleprompter is teleprompting, and the text is scrolling up. What's happening here is, show this to you, is the iPad is set to scroll backwards. If you get a teleprompter app, you're going to use one of these, you need to be able to set it to flip. Because right there, you ain't going to read that. But due to the reflection mechanism, it puts it on here. Let's lock these down. This thing's pretty solid. Now, here's what's happening. You can read the text. Our page's new groundbreaking teleprompter system solves all these problems. Blah, 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 blah. This is what a thing that they sent that comes with the teleprompter app. Now, what I want you to notice is when I turn this thing on, you're not seeing anything back here. I'm looking at text scrolling across the screen like a mirror. Use in an infinite range of places. If you can bring your iPad, you can use Prompter Duo. Free yourself from the need to maintain a power connection or deal with complicated settings. I can see this fine, and I can tell you, and I'll show you the video from here, it's not showing up at all on the lens. Let's turn it back around here. I think this thing is awesome. It's sturdy, it's solid, it works. I love the huge plate under here. I love that my camera, I could put a massive lens on here. It wouldn't matter. It's pretty balanced. I think this is a great deal, and I think Glide Gear did a really bang-up job on this thing. Again, even if you're trying to learn how to be in front of the camera and be comfortable, use one of these. Practice with one of these. Who knows? Maybe one day someone will call you and say, hey, we want you to be on your TV show. And you're like, hey, I'd love to do that. And they're like, hey, good. And you get there and there's a teleprompter and you're like, you're a filmmaker. You should be able to film with a camera. You should be able to film with a camera and monitor, with a camera and monitor and sound, with a microphone, with super batteries, with headphones, with lighting. You should also be able to film without those. It's not about what you have and how much stuff you have. It's about using the things you have to your benefit and being able to move and do something and be elastic about what you need to shoot. Anyway, check out this teleprompter. I highly recommend it. I'm probably going to mount it on the camera from now on. And guess what? If I don't want to use the teleprompter, I don't have to. It's just sitting there. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. You know what's cool about gear companies like Canon and Zoom and Glide Gear and all these is they don't do those songs, those like jingle songs that are so irritating on TV. Have no fear, Glide Gear is here. See, it just doesn't work, does it? It makes you want to do this. It makes you want to say later, dudes.